Hi everybody, welcome to Double Wings. My channel is actually dedicated to educate the Chinese audience to improve their understanding of the world and understanding the Western values. Then, as I was thinking about these basic concepts, it occurs to me that a lot of Westerners might also need some sort of education in this regard. And so I decided to do a same episode in English. The added benefits is that these Chinese audiences can listen to both and learn some English in the process as well. So that's why I'm doing this today. First of all, I like to make some comments on the bad rep that Chinese from mainland has got in the Western world. I'm not defending them at all. Their behaviors are totally deserving these criticism. But I would like folks to be more understanding in a way that they were brought up under communism. It's an atheistic, in large sense, amoral value system was instilled in their brain. So largely it's not their fault that they think the way they do and they do the things they do. So to quote Christ on the cross, when he said, "Forgive them, for they do not forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing." However, if they are rich Chinese from the mainland, I'm talking about uber rich, then abuse them all the way you want, because chances are their money is from some sort of a corruption deal they've done with the communists. Anyhow, today's topic is a government system. Since my last talk was advocating constitutional monarchy as the best system befitting China. So today I like to talk about the different type of political systems. Of course, we're not going to pay much attention on dictatorial government, because we all know these are not compatible with human values. I'm just going to focus on three main types of democratic system. The first one is the constitutional monarchy, which is what my country is under. I live in Canada. We have a queen and we have a prime minister. The second system is the presidential republic, which US is the major example. The third system is a semi-presidential republic, of which France is the best example. So these are the three major democratic political systems at work today. Let's talk about each one of them. First, the constitutional monarchy, which of course requires a king or queen as a figurehead of the state. And then we have a parliamentary system in which the party with the most seats, the leader of the party, becomes a prime minister, who function as the head of the executive branch. Some country, such as Ireland or Germany, has a quasi-constitutional monarchy, in the sense that they don't actually have a monarch, but their president is only a titular title, meaning the German president, Irish president, Austrian president, for example, they don't hold any power. They are just like queens and kings. They're just figureheads. They are actually using the parliamentary system, same as the country with a constitutional monarchy. The advantage of this type of parliamentary system is that the executive branch and the legislative branch are not clearly cut, as the prime minister is also a member of the parliament, so he participates in voting to pass a law. Since he's the leader of the party of majority as well, the function of the government becomes more efficient because you don't have this extra presidential veto thing to get over in order to make something into a law. As well, I'm a believer of a natural process, meaning a political system that's formed throughout ages gradually come to this form is usually a more natural or organic, if you will, way to form a government, as opposed to the US system, where a few people, the founding fathers, as great as they were, they basically just thought of this system and wrote it down. There was no natural evolution to that stage. It just came into being all of a sudden. So for these two reasons, I preferred a parliamentary system, be it a constitutional monarchy or as long as you use a parliamentary system. Now the second system is the presidential republic. Like I said, it's a system that came into being entirely thought of by the founding fathers. It worked well for US, but you don't see other countries doing as well when they try to copy the US system. For example, all these South American countries, they just have endless corruption and coup and all these turmoil. I think the reason behind this is, in order for a presidential republic to work perfectly, you really need a specific type of culture. Because in a presidential republic, the president holds huge power. And as the saying goes, power corrupts, absolute power corrupt absolutely. So unless you have a very stringent inspectoral system in place to have checks and balances, the president tend to become more dictatorial and more corrupt than the prime minister of a parliamentary system, for example. The last system is the semi-presidential system, in which there's a president who have a majority of power, but there's also a premier who kind of take away some power from the president. I suppose the hope was to lessen the president's power. The philosophy behind it is to make the president not as powerful as in a presidential republic. So hopefully it'll become a more stable country. It didn't work as well as people thought. Well, look at France these days. They're not doing that great. But interestingly, a few new democracies, especially in Asia, such as South Korea and Taiwan, they copied this semi-presidential republic system, and they're doing relatively well. So the verdict is still out on that one. So my conclusion is, unless you have a population of high-quality citizens, the presidential republic system is probably not the best option. That's the reason I recommend a constitutional monarchy to China, a country with a population with questionable qualities, to say the least. And beside that, the Chinese people have this tendency to worship the number one guy. So if you make the number one guy with very little power, then on the one hand you can avoid all these bloody fights for the people to try to be the number one guy, and secondly, even if this number one guy was put on a pedestal and being worshipped, he doesn't have the ability to steer a country into whatever he wants to do. As the elected number two guy, the prime minister will run the country. So this topic, I'll just leave it there. Let me know what you think. If a constitutional monarchy system is still viable in China. Thank you.